everyone, this is Kayla Petrasek, and you have reached the Go-To Aesthetics Coach podcast, where we will be diving deep into medical aesthetic devices, skincare, and business development tactics that are going to take your clinic to the next level. Welcome to the Go-To Aesthetics Coach podcast. I'm Kayla Petrasek, and today we're going to be diving into something really deep and transformative, my favorite type of topics. We're actually going to be tapping into feminine energy and embracing the power of desire to create abundance in every single area of our life. So whether you're an aesthetic clinic owner or you're an entrepreneur in some other field, today's episode is going to be for anyone who wants to unlock their full true potential, because it always starts from within. So I always say, if we want to work on our businesses, we first need to work on ourselves, because we are our business. So if we aren't functioning at our fullest capacity, our business is not going to function at its fullest capacity. So there's always inner work to do as well. And I love focusing on energetics and abundance and all of those good things. So let's get into today. Together, we are going to explore how embracing your feminine essence can open doors to creativity, fulfillment, and a magnetic sense of self that's going to naturally attract what you want. So find a quiet, comfortable spot, and let's get ready for this journey of self-discovery. Now, part one is going to be an intro to what feminine energy is. So I know before I started learning about this topic that I didn't really know what feminine and masculine energy was, other than like what it states, like figuring like it's pretty self-explanatory in a sense, right? But it is actually so much more than that. But to break it down, feminine energy is going to be like that flowy energy where we're just light and free and like kind of like doing things, just as it comes to us, not as structured, just really like based on our mood and energy. Masculine energy is more like structured and concise and formulated type of thing. So we've all been conditioned to like hustle, achieve, and control what I'd call living in our masculine energy. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We actually need masculine energy to build the structure and pursue goals, create discipline. But if we spend all of our time there, we risk losing touch with the softer, more intuitive side of ourselves, our feminine energy. And I also just want to state that when I'm talking about feminine and masculine energy, this does not mean like feminine energies for females and masculine energies for males. Doesn't matter what your gender is. We both have like those two sides. We both have feminine and masculine energies. So, sorry, I've been talking a lot today. Just need a quick drink. Okay, so for me, the balance between the masculine and the feminine has been one of the most transformative realizations in my life and in my business. Once I started to allow more feminine energy into my life, everything began to shift. And well, there's so many reasons. But the gist of it, so the reason why I was so in my masculine energy before was because like the life, my path, my life, my journey in life. And, I was, went through some experiences, was a single mom for a long time, was a very young mom. I had my son, I was pregnant at 19, had my son when I was 20, forced to be put in these situations where what I felt like I had to really put my masculine energy at the forefront. So it became like so much masculine energy where I was like super structured, super go, like super, I have to do rigid, like have to do things this certain way. Not as relaxed, right? And only because I was in a bit of a survival mode. So I had to be doing that because I had a child. Like I have a child that I had to raise and learn how to grow up really fast and create a life, right? So anyway, so once I started to allow more of that feminine energy into my life, literally everything began to shift. So I basically began to notice that there were subtle cues in my body. There's like a creative flow and how much more effortless like things felt when I embraced my inner softness and receptivity. So you see, feminine energy isn't, like as I mentioned, it isn't gender specific. It's an aspect that we all possess. And it's the part of you that longs to create, to nurture, and to experience life in its fullest expression. It's magnetic, fluid, and deeply connected to your intuition. So today, let's explore how you can actually tap into this energy. And that's going to bring us to the second part of this, which is the modern woman's dilemma. So I think many of you can relate to this. As a modern woman, we often encourage to be strong, to tough it out, to keep everything on the surface. We wear out our strength like armor, but deep down, there is a part of us that longs to soften and to release and just to like let go. So in my work with aesthetic clinic owners and professionals, I often see this dynamic play out. We are constantly in control, managing our teams, hitting targets, and keeping everything running smoothly. But when you look deeper, there is definitely like a yearning to let go of that control and to feel. So, what happens when we allow ourselves to feel fully? Like, what's going to happen then if we actually allow for that? What happens is we allow vulnerability to be our strength rather than something to hide. So I believe that this is where the true magic of feminine energy lies, because it's about finding the strength to be soft, to trust that flow, to surrender control, and to let life unfold as it's meant to. One saying that I love and that has given me so much growth and freedom is stating that this specific thing happened for me, not to me. There can be things that happen throughout life that are really hard and that we hold on to because it's trauma. It's like trauma, right? And these traumas that stick with us in our life create baggage and weight, and we hold on to it, and it changes us, not always in a positive way. But if we can change our mindset around things and to look at it as less of a victim, even if we kind of were a victim, like you look at it in a way, there's always a silver lining in everything. And I truly, truly believe that everything that happens in life is meant to happen as it should, even the bad things. And that's when there's so much transformation in my life, because you basically rewire your brain and you let go of things that hold you back. And it makes you your fullest, truest, most potential self, right? And then, of course, that correlates to success in your business. So I want to leave that with you, because I know we all have had experiences in our life and no one's perfect. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has been through a lot, right? Think about the things in your life that were hard or even currently are hard, and try to reflect and think like, how can I rewire this so that it's happening for me and not to me? Even if it's bad, there's somehow a silver lining that this is meant to happen. And that also just brings a sense of ease, because you can just relax and take a deep breath and be like, okay, I just have to trust that everything that's meant to happen is supposed to happen. And somehow this is part of my journey and this is happening for me, and it's going to make sense. Maybe not right now, but it will. I do trust so much in myself and in this life that it's going to make sense down the road. And when we do that, when we think of things like that and go upon life like that, you walk life in a much lighter path because you're not burdened with all these what ifs and anxieties and depressions and like all these things, right? Because we just let it go. Like it's just, we can't control everything. So this is what it is. Like we were all given a life and a path, and we just have to trust that this all makes sense. And of course, during that, we're working on ourselves and we're always striving to, make the right choices and things like that. But at the end of the day, just take a deep breath and just, it's all going to work out. So this is what I want to explore today. How to flip the script. How to build strength at your core so that you can embrace the softness and vulnerability on the outside. Feminine power is so often misunderstood, but when you truly embody it, you become completely unstoppable. And I promise you that. Like it gets me so excited when people tap into this and they do the work because I know it's coming for them. And it's so, so much fun. So now let's dive into one of the most powerful aspects of feminine energy, and that's going to be desire. So I want you to just pause for a moment and think about something that you truly desire. It could be in your business, in your personal life, or a dream that you've always wanted to manifest. So something that you really desire. This could be, maybe you've always wanted to have your own business. Maybe you are looking for your soulmate. Maybe you've always manifested to backpack across Europe, something like that. Now, how does that desire make you feel? Really try to feel the feelings there. Does it make you feel expansive? Does it make you feel guilty? Like you shouldn't want more? Because for so many of us, desire has been completely criminalized. And we're taught to feel satisfied with what we have and not want to reach for more. It's how we're programmed in this society, unfortunately. Like, honestly, I just wish that we would teach certain things in our curriculums in public school like this, because there's so much more to life. I don't know. There's just so much more to life, and life skills are so important. And I feel like we missed the ball a little bit in our academic system, but that's okay because we eventually come to it. But anyway, so here's the thing. Desire is the key to creation. So when you want something, when you truly long for something, it's not a sign of lack. It's a sign that more is possible for you. It's the universe's way of nudging you and saying, hey, there's more out there for you. Go get it. You got to do it. You got to go for it. You got to take the action. I see this all the time in my coaching practice. We as women, we often hold ourselves back from desires or women or men, because we feel like we're being greedy or we're not supposed to want too much. But desire is your birthright. It is the fuel for your creative power. And when you actually tap into it from a place of abundance rather than lack, you're going to be truly amazed how quickly things start to shift in your favor. So now we talk about actually shifting from lack to abundance. So now let's talk about that. So this is where the magic really happens. Many of us operate from a place of, I don't have it yet, so I need to do more and to go get it. That's lack mentality. It's the belief that we aren't whole and that we're missing something. But when we live from a place of abundance, we realize that we're already complete and everything we desire is already available to us. We simply need to just align with it. Let me share an example. So I used to think that success had to be hard and that I had to hustle nonstop and sacrifice my well-being to achieve my goals. I'm going to sneeze. Oh my goodness, sorry. But the more I tuned into my feminine energy, the more I realized that success could be effortless, real success, the kind of success that you dream for. And I didn't it didn't have to be about pushing, but rather more about receiving. And when you embody that energy of what you desire, it flows to you naturally and effortlessly. You become a magnet to the opportunities, to the people, and the experiences that match with your energy. This is not wish-washy, okay? This is real stuff. And it's happened throughout my life, and it's crazy powerful. I would not be talking about this unless I've had real experiences with this. And it literally is it's not because of anything I did. It's not because of the school or the connection or it's literally things that's been drawn to me as a response to the energy that I've put out. Because I put out an energy where I truly 1000% in my brain know that I can do anything that I want in this world. I can achieve anything I want. And there's literally nothing that I can't have. I know that. And as soon as you actually believe that with yourself, you just draw, like, literally opportunities just come to you and they land in your lap. And it's so cool. And the more you can learn and train yourself to be in that energy, it just keeps coming. And like, it's so crazy. It's so exciting. I'm in groups with millionaires who this is like the foundation of what they are living and breathing. And it is the key to what makes them so successful. So I really recommend that you get into this stuff. So it's the feminine way that we are manifesting. It's not about chasing, it's about receiving. And it's about allowing yourself to be full rather than feeling like you need to fill a void. So I want to take this even one step further. When you think about your desires, ask yourself, am I a match for what I want? What I mean by this is, are you embodying the energy of someone who already has what you want? Let's say that you desire more abundance in your business. Are you actually embodying abundance in the day-to-day life? It's not here yet, so I don't need to work harder. When you're in that place of lack, you're not a vibrational match for the abundance that you are seeking. Energy is a real thing. It's actually like has to do with physics. And as you know, like, energy is made up of everything. It's running through us. It's in everything around us. So there's actual scientific knowledge behind this, which I liked to learn about. Like, I read some books on it, because before, when I hear about, like, you know, The Secret, like all this like energy based work, I'm a science person. Like, I did my degree in science. I was in nursing. I was in pharma sales my whole life. I've read study. Like, I'm very science person, and like I need to see like the evidence. So when I actually like looked into this more and saw there was actual science behind this, I was like, oh, okay, no, this actually, you know, wow, this actually is legitimate. And then I actually started practicing it, and it like doesn't even matter if it's legitimate or science based or not, because it just works. So I'm here for the results. But anyway, so the more I tuned into my feminine energy, the more I realized that success could just be effortless. And it wasn't about pushing. I just let it come to me. Now, when you actually embody the energy that you desire, it's just going to keep coming to you, and you're just going to be an energetic match for what you're manifesting. It's not about, well, it is about actually allowing you to be full, and rather than feeling like you need to just do what you were programmed to do what you were put on this earth to do. We are allowed to be creative. We are allowed to dream, but it doesn't actually have to be dreaming. It can just be doing. And it's just changing the way that we have been brought up in this world that we live in, within the society that we live in. We've been kind of boxed into a certain mindset our whole lives. And unless we had parents who were teaching us out of the box thinking and all these things, then we haven't been exposed to it yet. So if this is one of your first time being exposed more so to energy based practices and mindsets, like, I would read up more into it, because it's, again, it is what took me to that next level. So let's go even further into this. When you think about your desires, ask yourself, am I a match for what I want? What I mean by this is, are you embodying the energy for someone who already has what you want? Let's say you desire, so sorry, one second. Kaden, can you be quiet, please? Sorry. So what was I saying? So yeah, you want to be a match for what you want. And you want to basically embody the energy of someone who already has what you want. So you really got to like think it and feel it. And let's say that you desire more abundance into your business. Are you embodying abundance in your day-to-day life? Are you stuck in the mindset of it's not here yet, so I need to work harder? Or when you're in that place of lack, you're not going to be a match for it. So changing the mindset. But when you start to embody gratitude, joy, love for what you already have, you'll start to notice a shift. And suddenly, no longer will you be chasing after your desires. They're going to actually be chasing after you. And the feminine essence is love in its purest form. When you're full of love of yourself, for your life, and for everything around you, you become so much more magnetic for it, and it moves to you. So this brings me to one of the most powerful lessons that I've learned in my journey so far, and that's trusting in the unknown. So we've all been taught to plan, to strategize, and to control all of our outcomes. But what happens when you surrender? What happens when you surrender to the flow of life? But truly actually doing that. Like, think about what that is. Like, actually just surrendering, not being hung up on, like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do, oh no, this, oh, poor me, or la, 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 la. All of the junk that we don't need. It's as simple as letting it go. And what happens when you trust that everything you desire is already coming to you is that that's where your feminine energy is going to thrive. It's the unknown. It's the moments where you're not sure how things will turn out, but you just trust that they will. And surrender is a practice that we have to exercise. It's not about giving up. It's about allowing. It's about knowing that sometimes life has a better plan for you. And trust me, I have been there. And I've had moments where I didn't know how things were going to work out, but I did know that the more I leaned into this energy, the more I realized that I will always be guided, and that what's meant to happen is going to happen, and that I trust that process. And it's just meant to be, and I trust in my path, right? I know that I'm going to have a good life, and I know that I'm going to achieve everything that I want, and I get to enjoy it on the process without all the weight. And that's such a nice way to live. So I want you to feel that same level of trust, that same knowing that you're going to be okay no matter what. Such a nice way to live, honestly. I always had anxiety. I'm an anxious person. I still do. But one second. My son is playing video games and it's way too loud. So you're going to have a little tour of my house for a second here. Okay. Kids. Okay. So, we're almost done here. So I just want to, end today's conversation by talking about play and overflow. So feminine energy is that playful, flirtatious, creative, spontaneous kind of flow. And when you're fully in your feminine, you're not in a rush. You're not trying to force things to happen. Instead, you're just enjoying the process. You're playing with your desires and what it would look like for you, what would it look like for you to kind of flirt with these desires, to enjoy the wanting, the knowing that it's on its way. This is where magnetism is born. And when you're enjoying life, when you're savoring every single moment, you're in a state of overflow. And overflow is where the magic happens. So it's the state where every part of your life is abundant and where you're not sacrificing one area for another. You're actually allowing everything to just flourish. So that's going to wrap up today's session. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it gets you to sit back and think a little bit, because this has truly been something that's really near and dear to my heart. It's transformed my life, and I'm continuing to learn more every single day. But the biggest takeaway for me that I like to share with you is to just trust the process. That's literally my life motto. I always just overthink everything, and there's no point. We don't need to. Life doesn't have to be actually hard if we don't make it. So if we just go with the flow, let it just be, and everything happens as it should. So I love you guys. I hope you have a great day, and we will talk soon. Bye.